in any court. The national leadership of the PDP charges all members of our great party in Rivers State to remain united and resolute in the defense of constitutional democracy and rule of law in Rivers. He has every right to be called upon to attend a meeting without seeking clearance for us. More so, as regards to your question, whether the constitution of that meeting was constituted right or not, this will be answered.
That's Damago. And again, I don't really have to say much. Like, if you have been following the political brouhaha in River States, so one of the miscalculation or miscalculated step taken by the supposed Wike's loyalist was for them to decamp to APC, hoping that Tifnumbu would kind of protect them. You know, it is still part of the lawlessness in that contraption. Don't get me wrong, all right? Because normally, they should have conducted a different election by now. But because it is a lawless place, and, you know, the hijackers, the power snatchers in charge of the contraption right now controls the institutions that could possibly have acted right, supposedly the INEC. So they intended and removing Fubara. Now, a bit, let's roll it back a bit, just for context, all right? Fubara was not interested in becoming governor. It was the Emperor Wike, the Wike, that needed a very quiet dullard to help cover his ass when he is no longer in power, cover his loot and all other criminal activity of his. And he didn't find any suitable candidates among his co-travelers. He had to pick the state accountant general. The accountant general, which is this Sim Fubara, accountant general of River State, that was declared wanted by the EFCC a year before the end of Wike's term. Why? EFCC said that they were probing the finances of River State, and they discovered that over 425 billion naira was missing, unaccounted for, just disappeared. But Wike, who happened to be the governor, had immunity, so they can't really arrest him. And they figured out that the person that has been helping him to doctor the book was Sim Fubara. And that one didn't have any immunity. So the day they planned on arresting Sim Fubara, Wike was a little bit ahead of them. So he grabbed Fubara, moved Fubara and his family straight into the government house in Port Harcourt. And that was where Fubara lived until the day he was sworn in as the governor. So Wike ensured that to protect his own loot, right? Wike bought forms, House of Assembly forms for all the 31, House of Assembly members. He bought the forms and he barred others from buying the same forms from PDP. Those who dared him and went behind him to go and procure the interest form of the House of Assembly, for the House of Assembly seats, one of them was actually arrested. They arrested him. Wike ensured they arrested him, locked him up until after the swearing in. Can you believe that? They picked somebody up from like December 2022. They did not release him until after July 2023, after the election, after the swearing in. They didn't release the guy. All of this is to make sure that, number one, this Sim Fubara will be the governor, okay? But surrounding him, right, will be the men and women appointed by Wike. So Fubara was just to be the head to fulfill the constitutional requirements. The status of assembly filled up with the Wike's loyalists. So when they rigged the election, Fubara in to safeguard him, right? The status of assembly here to Wike. It was time for the appointment of those who were to work with Fubara. 80% of these appointments were the Wike's appointees, or the commissioners, special advisors, board this and that. They were all appointed by Wike. To the point that majority of them were not even seeing Fubara as their Oga. Whenever Fubara says, for example, whenever Fubara sends the memo to a ministry, a commissioner, to sign, the commissioner will be asking Fubara, "She Oga is aware? Is Oga aware that you are asking me to sign this money?" And the Oga is Wike, who has now been appointed minister by Tifnumbu. So this was how they were running. But the real stick, a stroke that broke the camel's back, was this unseen agreement that they said they signed up for. And that was, Wike was said to have put an arrangement in place that all the revenue accrue, including allocation accrued to the state, Wike would take 30% of that in order to maintain the political structure he has put in place, from the local government area to the status of assembly, to the National Assembly, and to the governorship seat. This was the agreement. So in order to sustain this political structure of Wike, they will need 30% of Rivers State revenue. Fubara paid for 3 months. That was in 2023. Then he stopped. So Wahala started. By the end of 2023, it became obvious. They said it became obvious that Fubara was defying Wike. So they started a plan of removing him, because that's actually how it was supposed to be. If he misstep, he will be impeached. So you see these guys from the status of assembly, right? They met with their Oga, and their Oga gave them the go-ahead that they should go and threaten Fubara, that he will be impeached if he continued to defy Wike. So by December 2023, Jidrogi Tifnumbu called a meeting. But before he called that meeting, the Rogbodiyan has already entered a different stage. And that particular stage was when people people in the Fubara's government, appointed by Wike, who were loyal to Wike, they started resigning. And then the status of assembly guys, 27 of them plus the speaker, said they were leaving PDP, they were going to join APC. But before they came to APC, they threatened to impeach. They said, if Fubara continue like this, we have no option than to impeach him. So the moment they let that cat out of the bag, then they decamped. That was when the misstep happened. That was how they shot themselves on the foot. But Tifnumbu, the Jagawiri, called a meeting. And it wasn't like a meeting to settle anything. It was a meeting where a resolution has been drafted. And it was just for all of them to sign it. Say, okay, you know what? This is my final solution. Tifnumbu said, all status quo should remain. Those who have decamped to APC, House of Assembly members, he can't send them back because they ran to him. So they remain APC. And also, all those who resigned from Fubara's government should be returned back to office. Now, this was not taken lightly by those who have become the loyalists of Fubara, especially those who claim to be the Rivers State PDP or Rivers State leader somehow. So every day, the camp of Fubara continued to swell with new converts. Because the moment these guys claim to have the camp, The left, the remaining maybe 4 House of Assembly members, one of them was appointed as a speaker. So when they got to 2024, from that moment on, Fubara stopped dealing with these guys. They cleared their seat vacant. Now, they've lost that power of being able to impeach him. Not forgetting the fact that in the whole melee, Fubara and his own camp, they bombed the status of assembly, so that at least if the status of assembly is going through renovation, you can't sit down and say you want to impeach me. This was in 2024. So the whole 2024, another game was when Fubara organized the local government selection, where the local government chairmen, their tenure ended sometimes in May or June 2024, but they didn't want to leave because according to them, Fubara cannot appoint a caretaker. In fact, the former House of Assembly members that they camped and lost their seats, they extended the local government chairman tenure. Who does that? Anyway, at the end of the day, they got outsmarted. Fubara had his way, did a local government selection, replaced them with his own loyalists. Like I said, their camp continued to swell and swell and swell. In all of this, so many people were kind of asking Wike, what the hell was wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You have done your own 8 years as governor, and you still want to lay hold on this River State. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? You are a minister in Abuja, stick to Abuja. And it was like, agreement is agreement. That he spent his money in making Fubara governor, in making all these guys, National Assembly members, senators, reps, and all of that, right? And the agreement of, now this is political structure, is what Fubara is destroying. That people should talk to Fubara. Anyway, that's not the first, that's not the only transgression of Wike. He has held the people destroying people in the jugular, like you probably will think is the alpha and the omega of a PDP. But there's also a political undertone. I mean, there's a political leverage on the side as well. You know, a divided PDP is a blessing to Tifnumbu, and it's a one-party state agenda. So if PDP can be together and all other opposition can be together, they have no right or chance of challenging him. So this crisis continued. Different court cases, different counter judgments, counter court orders, ex parte order. And in all of this, people were saying, what exactly is wrong with PDP? Because Wike has managed to managed to control like half of those inside the PDP. It became like untouchable. He even had a court judgment that says that Wike cannot be suspended or dismissed. I'm like, so now that this guy is now changing his tone, well, maybe 2025 is the year the real battle of the bastards will take place. Or there is more from what Damagun was saying. Here is another one.
Was constituted right or not, this will be answered by Fubara himself. Ours is the position of the party. We have all right to defend the party's position and to also retrieve what belongs to us at the appropriate time. So we don't have to seek for Fubara's clarification or anybody to act on behalf of the party. So I'm not aware whether he's the one that signed it or not. I cannot confirm that to you because I've not spoken to you. Most of these rumors are peddled by you media. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no any crisis in the party, and people have the right to express their feelings. If they don't like the face of Damagun or the NWC, they have every right to say these people should go. The same people are saying we are doing very well to keep this party together, and this is why we are here. We will continue to do that, and when that time comes, we shall see. But we are all not mindful of the fact that we have a responsibility to this party. So that allegation, you said it yourself, is an allegation. So I'll consider it an allegation, and don't propagate it further, because you know, when you propagate rumor, it causes crisis. So please, I indulge you to also be cautious of what you hear. It with Wike one time, and he was saying it publicly, the party is intervening. You see, in this kind of crisis, you don't have to come out and say we are meeting, we are doing this, we are doing that, because a lot of interests are there, and it can jeopardize the process of this intervention. Not quite all right. The party has intervened. That was why you have seen some camps at a certain particular time. And as regards to the president intervening, I'm sure he's doing that in the interest of the nation, because of the security situation and the agitation that is building up. So as a president, he will know he can intervene in other states as well, even if it's his states. So that does not foreclose the fact that the party will have to take its responsibility to also do what to do the needful. That is one of these things that we are doing. It's also in line with the outcome of what has happened. So you don't have to. And our stand about Wike, you have always pampered that. I have always said this thing: as long as you are a member of this party, there is a time for everything. My duty here is to stabilize this party, not to stay a crisis. And I will continue to do that within the confines of reason. When it goes out of its hand, we will act. But meanwhile, we still see it within the ambit of the laws. Mind you, we have other litigations going on still in this party, and definitely we won't want to plunge our party into another crisis. And let me even draw your attention that some people have gone to court, especially the lawmakers, to say there was crisis in the party. That was why they defected. Assuming there was real crisis, which you and me know there was no any crisis in this party. Assuming we planned the party into crisis, we will be here talking now. So I think we are doing everything possible, and we are not mindful of the fact that it's not only Wike. There are other people that also have worked against this party. When we get to that level, we'll sanction everyone. So if Wike today believe is above this party, we will be able to show him that he's not above.
You get that now? So bottom line is that for the first time, Damagun is actually mentioning Wike in his press conversation. In the last 1.5 years, he has always been dodging and dodging. There was a time that they also plotted in removing him, because he is believed that to be in the what do you call it, in on the payroll of Wike. Because what people were asking is that, man, like, how can your party be so, like, with no discipline? Somebody is acting with, brazenly in this way, giving excuses. Oh, it's been giving excuses about equity and fairness, equity and justice, and all this other nonsense, right? But he's someone that got played. Don't let us forget that part. When Wike got played in 2023, when Wike stole 1.4 trillion naira of River State money. Don't ever forget that. 1.4 trillion naira. And this is the money he spent wholly on PDP, hoping that he will become the presidential candidate of a PDP. And those who pledged that they will be with him when he was spending this money, Wike was using River State money to bail out about 3 states, especially Sokoto State in northern Nigeria. Sokoto State is a state that got so mismanaged by Tambuwa, right? If not for River State money, it's on record that Sokoto State alone collected more than 100 billion naira from Wike. Payment of salary. It was even doing some Father Christmas across the northern Nigeria at the time. When the time came for them to deliver their delegate for Wike at their PDP Congress, Abina Convention, they all went for Atiku. That kind of, man, that destroyed